Hello YouTubers! Well, it's time for the vinyl tag of 2020. Wait. Haven't I already done that? Yeah, but I found an alternate vinyl tag for 2020, so let's do that. 20 questions, not going to answer all of them in a couple of cases because I can't really. But these are the 20 questions for the alternate vinyl tag 2020. Number one, well, I'm a bit unsure here. I think I saw in some video they said sexiest album cover, but on the list I'm reading sexist album cover. So, I think I'll go for the sexist album cover. And it's an album that was issued by the Swedish erotic, pornographic even, magazine Fib Aktuellt in 1973. It looks like this. Aktuellt toppen. There's a reason why there's a yellow post-it there. And what do we have here? Well, we have different covers of the popular songs of 1973, Swedish and international hits, played by an orchestra who we do not know the name of, and sung by artists who we do not know the names of. Well, probably just for the best. But what's so even more special about this rather silly album, it's so silly that I'm keeping it for that sake, is the fact that there are lots of photos of other girls, more or less undressed, in the fold-out sleeve. And the funny thing is that they're actually trying to I mean, they have different models here making comments about the songs on this album. I'm going to try to translate it into English because it's so silly here. One of the songs is The Legend of Joe Hill, and a model called Anita has written, "The legend of Joe Hill is the legend of a fascinating man. I'm listening with my whole body. Joe Hill, I think you're the kind of guy I like to meet." And I don't think she really knew who Joe Hill was, and well, yeah, we have the pre-ABBA hit. It was a big hit in Sweden, Ring Ring, and the model Karina writes here, "Ring ring, yeah, do that if what you have to say sounds as nice as Benny's and Björn's song from the festival, the Eurovision Song Contest, yeah. It's music that makes me think such nice thoughts." It's so silly. It's so silly. But, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's not get stuck there. Number two, scariest album cover. I don't have any really scary album yeah, I have. Here. Swedish dance band, Danis, from 1978. The outfits are scary. The fact that they are standing in a lady's hand is even more scary. Yeah, I've got nightmares. Let's move on. Number three, cool center label. Yeah, a really cool center label is the Swedish label Svenska Ljud of the Swedish comedy duo Hasse Alfredson and Tage Danielsson. They started a company called Swedish Words, Svenska Ord, and they started a record company called Swedish Sounds, Svenska Ljud. And the label has their logotype, two men standing. You can see it. The problem is with this is the first issue. It's a single from 1963. The first issue was withdrawn because the label had kind of different design, and the spindle hole was placed a bit differently, and to put a long story short, when you actually put the record on the turntable, the little thing that stuck out between the legs of one of the men, so it looked a bit obscene too. So they had to change the label into this that is the label that they then used for the next 20 years. Svenska Ljud, that's a really cool label, I think. Number 4, an album Bobby Gass would like that you don't like. I have no idea who Bobby Gass is, sorry, so I'll skip that. A soundtrack or compilation, I guess. Well, one soundtrack that I think is really, really interesting musically, and it's a soundtrack of a really, really weird film. Michael Nyman's music for Peter Greenaway's film Z and 2 Notes. That's a truly remarkable motion picture soundtrack and a really, really remarkable movie. Those of you who have seen it and those of you who have heard it, I think you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's fabulous, although I'm fond of the rather aggressive string quartet playing on this album. Let's move on. I'm trying to make this into a short movie. I keep babbling, I keep waffling, making the videos way too long. Look, I'm doing it now, again. Number 6, an album with someone wearing a diaper, loincloth or underwear. This caused me a lot of problems. I'm quite sure I don't have any diaper cover. I don't think I have any loincloth cover. And underwear, yeah. In the 70s, the bikini bottoms looked all like underwear. I just picked... Finally, I just picked this one. It's one of these cheesecake covers of the Contour label. 16 Chart Hits Volume 5. Are those panties? I don't know. I don't care. Let's move on. Let's move on. Keeps... Okay. Favorite album from 2019. I already showed that in the previous video with the first vinyl tag video. It's still Rammstein, so I'm not going to show you that. 8, favorite Ramones album. I have to admit, I don't have any Ramones albums. I should have, and I probably will get them, because I've liked what I've heard so far, but I don't have them. Yeah, so sorry. Autographed album number 9. Yeah, I have some of those, but this is with an artist that I like a lot, Anne Brun, and she has signed it. It's silver ink here. Anne Brun and a little flower like that. This is the album It All Starts With One from 2011. That's a signed one. Hurry. Most beat album. I guess that means beat up, or I try to not keep albums that are in a horrible condition, but I think I've showed this before. It's Tom Nordblom's, their album En lördagskväll i Folkets Park from 1968. It's very sought after. Many collectors who have a deep love for this very particular band. And this copy has a very worn cover that barely holds together, and a record that is fairly beaten up. You can play it and you can enjoy it, but of course I'm looking for a better copy. Not willing to pay some of the prices being paid for this album, even though I remember I had to pay quite a sum for this poor copy, but still, that's a really beat up album. Tom Nordblom's En lördagskväll i Folkets Park. Righto. I'm very effective here, I think. Number 11, album with a Felon. Yeah, well, there are those in my collection, not that many, but producer, songwriter, and singer and music, a man with lots of music ideas that I actually like, and that I have some records with, is Jonathan King. the British Jonathan King, the man who put Uga Chaka to the song Hooked on a Feeling. And he was still very angry that the Swedish band had the big, Blue Swede had the big hit. So I'm showing Jonathan King greatest hits, past, present and future on the UK records. And we have Paloma Blanca, Hooked on a Feeling, Everyone's Gone to the Moon, and many others. Lazy Bones, Let It All Hang Out. Yeah, I think it's from 75 or 76 this. The man who used many different names on singles. He went so far so when the 10cc made their first records, they all thought, oh, that's another Jonathan King pseudonym. So, yeah, Jonathan King. Number 12, album with 3 or more dead members. Well, I'm going to show you the Swedish band, very popular band in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, up until, well, they have just issued a new album. It's the Swedish band Sven-Ingvars. This is one of their big comeback albums from 1991. Två mörka ögon, Two Dark Eyes, which was a big hit. And now when I look at it here, the 5 members in 1991, and I have to say only one of them is still alive. And Robin Bailey, drummer, he's gone. The bass player Patrick Carlson died quite young. Sven Erik Magnusson, the lead star and singer, he passed away a couple of years ago, and his son has taken over the band, so the band is still alive. And the keyboard player Tommy Gustafsson, he died last year. The only one in this setup who's still alive is Ingvar Carlsson, the guitar player. So Sven-Ingvars, that's an example of a band with 3 or more members who have passed away. And then the original members, apart from Ingvar Carlsson and Sven Erik Magnusson, those who played back in the 50s with this band that started back in 1956, imagine that. They have of course passed away by now as well. Okay, number 13, an album you like that Bobby Gass won't. Who is Bobby Gass? I have no idea. I'll skip that. Number 14, a funny album that makes you laugh. Yes, I showed this many times, and well, it was some time ago now, because it's not a very famous album. The incredible vocal sounds of Wes Harrison, Mr. Sound Effects, the one and only. And he has, and this is signed as well. He signed it with with a pen, with a ballpoint pen. And I think this record you had to order it from him. This record cannot be purchased in record stores. Therefore, anyone designed to obtain further copies of this record may send $6, check, cash or money order to Wes Harrison, P.O. Box 404, Glenview View, Illinois. I had no idea who this was, but he's such a big master of making sound effects with his mouth, and you might think that gets tired quite fast, but this live album is, I mean, it must be over 50 years old, but I think it's funny and a very unique talent. Yeah, Wes Harrison. Last time I checked him up, and that made me, was probably 7-8 years ago. He was still alive and still performing. Not sure if that is the case today. Okay, number 15, an album you bought because of a VC member. Well, I'm going to mention record collecting chum Jonas Sublime Media, who made a video where he gave me some tips on good records that he thought that I would enjoy. And one of the records he brought up was this album called Extra Knäckt by Bob, Björn and Dave from 1973. It's Björn Thelin and Juri Vik and Bob Lander from Spotniks. I think they all played in Spotniks. Together with Dave Kirby. He was so right. It took me quite a while to find a copy, but when I finally found it, I had to say it's a great album, and glad that he gave me a tip about it or advised me to get it. Not that easy, not that super easy to get hold of, but well worth having. Okie dokie. Let's see. 16. VC channel you wish would come back. Well, to be quite honest, I'm going to say my thought here. I wish that I'd be better at coming back watching the YouTube VC videos, because I've been really poor, bad at doing it. And one of my goals this year, the year of 2020, is that I'm going to become a better viewer of YouTube VC videos, because I like it. I find it so interesting, but I just have been really bad at doing it and writing comments and being active in the VC. Sorry for not being there, but I haven't forgotten any of you. Okay, an album with nudity on the cover. Okay, we need to a little post-it here, I think. Let's try to keep this somewhat child-friendly. I've talked about this album before. It's Discotheque with the Bloom Green Group from on the Haparanda Records label from 1970 boobly boo something. I'm not sure when it's from. I'm 70, 71, 69, something like that. And when I got this, I thought, well, I didn't really expect that much, but I thought it was an interesting title. And I listened to it and I thought, wow, this is really good. The music is really good, really groovy instrumental pop. And I tried to find out who the Bloom Green Group are, but I have not been successful, not at all. So I still have no idea who they are, who are playing. It's not the girl, of course, it's not the cheesecake model. Discotheque by the Bloom Green Group. Okay. An album with a cowboy on the cover. This got a bit trickier than I expected, because I thought I had lots of cowboy records, but I didn't. But I'm going to show you Rank Strangers, where they are at least somewhat cowboy-like, these 5 Swedish gentlemen. This is their first album from 1969, their big breakthrough, Country Our Way, with the hit single cover of Early Morning Rain. And we have the singer and leader Mats Rådberg, who will be, no, I pointed at the horse now, that's not nice. By the horse, this guy with a cowboy hat, and he would become probably one of the most popular Swedish country singers in the 70s and 80s, and maybe in the 90s as well, not sure. But this was where it all started, and it's a bit cowboy-like. Okay, an album with a motorcycle on the cover. Sorry. Well, this was also much more difficult than I expected, because many of the records where I was sure there was a motorcycle on the cover, there weren't. So I've been looking for a record in my collection with a motorcycle, and finally I found one, even though it's a drawn motorcycle, and it's the compilation album Elvis Presley, Return of the Rocker. It is a very nice cover. I like this. A very nice drawing of Elvis on a motorcycle, with songs like Stuck on You, Return to Sender, Make Me Know It, and such stuff. Not a very common compilation, even though it's not super rare. It's from the 80s, from 1986. It's one of the better looking Elvis compilations out there. And that's a motorcycle, so right, that's how it is, and that's what you'll get. Okay, and number 20, a VC channel you wish would go away. No, I don't go there. I don't wish any VC channel to go away. I'm just happy to see more channels turning up all the time, and the vinyl community grows stronger and stronger. It stays alive, many new names all over the world, and it's lovely. And so, no, I'm not wishing any VC channel away. So, I've talked now for around 20 minutes. Time for me to stop. Time for me to shut up and say again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Play lots of vinyl records, and yeah, that's it, I think. Toodaloo.